Are you feeling overwhelmed by your student loan debt? It's a question that resonates with many of us, isn't it? We start our journey into adulthood with dreams in our hearts and diplomas in our hands, only to find ourselves weighed down by the heavy shackles of student loans. Student loans have become a common part of the college experience. It's like a rite of passage. Everyone seems to be carrying around their own little mountain of debt. It's as if you're not just graduating with a degree, but also a financial burden that you never asked for. Imagine this: you're fresh out of college, ready to take the world by storm. You've got your cap on your head, your degree in your hand, and a student loan debt that's heavier than your textbooks. Suddenly the world seems a lot scarier, doesn't it? This debt isn't just a number on a piece of paper, it's a constant companion, showing up in every aspect of your life. It influences the jobs you take, the places you live, and the lifestyle you lead. It's like a persistent rain cloud casting a shadow over your hopes and dreams. It's not just about the money, it's about the stress, the anxiety, and the feeling of being trapped. It's about the constant worry that one day you might not be able to keep up with the payments. It's about the fear that your student loan debt might become a permanent part of your life. And it's not just you. Millions of people are in the same boat, paddling against the tide of student loan debt. It's a shared struggle, a collective burden that we all carry. But what if there was a way out? What if there was a magic wand that could make your student loan debt disappear? What if you could break free from the chains of debt and start fresh? But imagine if you could erase that debt. Wouldn't that be life-changing? So, what is this magical solution called student loan forgiveness? Let's unravel this mystery together. On the surface, student loan forgiveness is a bit like a fairy godmother appearing at the stroke of midnight. Except instead of turning pumpkins into carriages, it transforms burdensome debt into, well, less debt or sometimes even none at all. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? At its core, student loan forgiveness is a government initiative designed to alleviate the burden of student loan debt for certain individuals. It's the government's way of saying, hey, we see you, we value your contribution, and we're here to lend a hand. Here's how it works. After making a certain number of payments over a set period of time, the remainder of your student loan can be forgiven. This means the remaining balance is wiped clean, forgiven, vanished, poof. It's like a weight being lifted off your shoulders, or better yet, like finally getting that last piece of a jigsaw puzzle to fit. Now, student loan forgiveness isn't just about making life easier for graduates. It's also about creating a more educated workforce and a more prosperous society. By relieving the financial burden of education, it encourages more people to pursue higher studies, leading to a society brimming with skilled professionals. It's important to note that student loan forgiveness is not a one-size-fits-all solution. The amount of debt that can be forgiven, the time it takes, and the requirements you need to meet can vary greatly. Some programs might forgive a portion of your loan after 10 years of payments, while others might require 20 years or more. But, regardless of the specifics, the essence of student loan forgiveness remains the same. It's a lifeline, a beacon of hope for those struggling under the weight of student loan debt. Sounds too good to be true, right? But who exactly qualifies for this? Well, stay tuned, because that's exactly what we're going to explore next. Buckle up, because we're just getting started on this journey through the land of student loan forgiveness. Not everyone can wave a magic wand and make their student loans disappear, so who does qualify? This is the burning question on everyone's mind, isn't it? Well, let's get to the bottom of it. Student loan forgiveness isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's primarily designed to aid certain groups of people, usually those in public service jobs. So if you're a firefighter, a police officer, a nurse, or a soldier, you might just be in the running. These are the people who dedicate their lives to serving the community, and often, their income doesn't quite match up to the price of their education. Teachers, too, have a spot in this category. Educators who have served in low-income schools or educational service agencies for a certain number of years may also be eligible for loan forgiveness. After all, shaping the minds of the future is no small task, and it's only fair that these unsung heroes get some financial relief. Furthermore, individuals facing significant financial hardship could be beneficiaries of this program. People who've been dealt a bad hand by life and find themselves struggling to make ends meet may qualify for student loan forgiveness. This includes those who are unemployed or whose income is significantly lower than their total student loan debt. It's a little light at the end of a seemingly endless tunnel. But hold on. Don't start celebrating yet. It's not quite as simple as raising your hand and saying, hey, I'm in one of those groups, where's my forgiveness? There are specific requirements within each category, and the process can be rather complex. It's not a free-for-all, it's a carefully orchestrated program designed to help those who need it most. So if you find yourself in one of these groups, take heart. There's a chance you could see that mountain of student debt shrink or even disappear. But the key is to understand the specifics and navigate the system wisely. But how does one apply for this forgiveness, you ask? Well, that's a question for the next scene. Stay tuned. If you're thinking this could be your ticket to financial freedom, you're probably wondering how to apply. Well, you're in luck. The process isn't as daunting as it might seem. It involves a few key steps: contacting your loan servicer, filling out the necessary forms, and providing the required documentation. Let's start with the first step. Your loan servicer is your primary point of contact for any questions or concerns about your student loan. They're also the ones who will guide you through the application process for loan forgiveness. So, get in touch with them as soon as you can. They can explain the exact procedure for your specific type of loan and give you a heads up on what to expect. Now, on to step 2, filling out the necessary forms. Depending on the forgiveness program you're applying for, you'll need to complete specific forms. These may include an application form for the forgiveness program itself, and possibly an employment certification form if you're applying for a program based on your job. Don't rush this step. It's crucial to fill out these forms accurately and completely to avoid any delays or complications down the line. Finally, step 3, providing the necessary documentation. This documentation will likely include proof of your income, proof of your employment, and any other documents that support your eligibility for loan forgiveness. Remember, each forgiveness program has its own unique requirements, so be sure to check with your loan servicer to ensure you're providing all the necessary information. And that's it. It may seem like a lot, but take it one step at a time and you'll be on your way. And remember, your loan servicer is there to help. Don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or concerns. Once you've applied, what should you expect? We'll cover that in the next scene, so stay tuned. The journey to financial freedom may be closer than you think. You've done the hard work and submitted your application, now what? Well, let's delve into what happens after you've applied for student loan forgiveness. It's a bit like waiting for a pot to boil, isn't it? But don't worry, we've got some tea to spill on the potential outcomes. First off, the best case scenario, full forgiveness. Picture this, you wake up one sunny morning, check your mail, and there it is. A letter stating your entire student loan has been forgiven. It's like Christmas morning, but instead of unwrapping a present, you're unwrapping a future free from student loan debt. But let's keep our feet on the ground. Not everyone will strike gold on their first try. There's also the chance of partial forgiveness. This means only a portion of your student loan will be forgiven. It's not the jackpot, but hey, it's a start. And any reduction in debt is a step towards financial freedom. And then, there's the outcome we're all dreading. Denial. It's like a bucket of cold water, but it's not the end of the world. If your application is denied, it simply means you'll have to try again or explore other options. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked: tax implications. It's important to remember that forgiven student loans may be considered taxable income. So, while you might be doing a little dance about your reduced debt, Uncle Sam might be holding out his hand for a slice of the pie. It's a bit like winning a car on a game show, only to find out you have to pay taxes on it. But don't let this discourage you. This is just a heads up to be prepared and consider seeking advice from a tax professional. So, that's it, right? Not quite, there's one more thing to consider. Your application has been approved and your loans have been forgiven. What now? Well, first off, let's take a moment to celebrate. That's a huge weight lifted off your shoulders. But remember, this is just the beginning of a new chapter in your financial journey. It's like you've been given a fresh start, but it's not a free pass. Think of it this way. Let's say you've spent the past few years trekking through a dense financial forest, and student loan forgiveness is your helicopter ride out. You're now back at the starting point, but this time, you've got a map. You know the pitfalls to avoid, the quicksand of high interest rates, the lurking predators of credit card debt. You know where you're going, and you've got the tools to get there. But just because you're out of the forest doesn't mean you can forget about the journey. The lessons you've learned along the way are invaluable. It's important to maintain those good financial habits you've developed. Keep budgeting, keep saving, and keep investing in your future. And remember, just because your student loans are forgiven doesn't mean you're debt-free forever. You might take on a mortgage, a car loan, or even more student loans if you decide to go back to school. That's why it's crucial to continue practicing smart financial habits. So, what's the next step? Start by setting some financial goals. Maybe it's buying a house, starting a business, or even just building up a solid emergency fund. Whatever your goals are, create a plan and stick to it. Don't forget to check in with yourself regularly. Are you on track? Do you need to adjust your plan? It's okay to change course if you need to. Remember, this is your journey, and you're in control. Lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help. Whether it's a financial advisor, a trusted friend, or even just a good book on personal finance, there are resources out there to guide you. Remember, student loan forgiveness is a gift, not a given. Use it wisely. So we've covered a lot of ground today. We've delved into the world of student loans and the concept of loan forgiveness. We've discovered that this program is designed for those in public service jobs, teachers, and those with a high debt-to-income ratio. We've walked through the process of applying for this program, emphasizing the importance of accurate and up-to-date information. We've also shed light on what happens after you've applied, underscoring the need to continue your repayments until you receive confirmation of your forgiveness. Most importantly, we've highlighted the next steps to take after receiving your forgiveness. Celebrate, yes, but also plan for a future without the burden of student loans. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, and your first step could be as simple as exploring the possibility of student loan forgiveness. With the right information and approach, student loan forgiveness can be a real game changer. Good luck.